You've been told your whole life that you need people, a mentor, a team, a circle, someone to vouch for you, push you, believe in you, and you believed it. So you spent years staying soft, keeping people comfortable, making sure nobody left. And still, when the moment came, you looked around and there was nobody there. That wasn't bad luck. That was the system working exactly as designed. What's up, guys? Today we're talking about something most people will never say out loud, that the absence of support isn't a wound, it's a weapon. One of the most powerful advantages a person can have. And once you understand why, everything you thought you knew about needing other people completely falls apart. Most people treat loneliness like a malfunction, like something went wrong, like if they had just networked better, or been more likable, or stopped pushing people away, they'd finally have the backing they need to move. But here's what nobody tells you. Every person in your corner owns a piece of your trajectory. Every hand that pulls you up also holds a string. And you don't get to decide where you go, they do. The support system you've been chasing is actually the thing that keeps you answerable to everyone except yourself. But here's the part nobody talks about. The person with nothing behind them is the most dangerous person in the room. Not because they're reckless, because they're free. No obligations, no politics, no one to disappoint, no one whose approval they need before they move. That freedom isn't a consolation prize for being alone. It's a structural advantage most people trade away before they even realize it has value. Esther Buchholz, a clinical psychologist at NYU who spent decades researching solitude, found something that disrupted the standard narrative on human connection. Her research suggested that solitude is not the opposite of belonging, it's the condition under which a person most clearly hears their own signal. The noise of other people's expectations, fears, and needs drowns that signal out entirely. Remove them, and something very different starts to emerge. This is where the internal shift begins. Most people, when they find themselves alone, immediately try to fix it. They scroll, they call, they manufacture stimulation, because the silence feels like punishment. But the silence isn't punishment. It's information. It's possibly the first time in years that the only voice in the room is yours. And that voice, if you can sit with it instead of running, will tell you exactly what you need to do next. The real internal move here isn't about learning to enjoy being alone. It's about becoming genuinely useful to yourself before you become useful to anyone else. That order matters more than most people understand. And this is where it gets uncomfortable. Most people have been outsourcing their self-belief for so long, they don't know what their own conviction actually feels like. They've been waiting for someone to confirm the idea before they act on it, waiting for someone to validate the move before they make it. And what that creates is a person who is permanently on hold, capable of everything, executing nothing, because the permission never came. Behavioral psychologist Dr. Roy Baumeister at the University of Queensland has studied self-regulation for over 2 decades. His research consistently shows that people with weaker external support structures often develop significantly stronger internal discipline, not in spite of the absence, but because of it. When no one is watching and no one is clapping, the only fuel left is the one you generate yourself. And that fuel burns longer and cleaner than anything borrowed from someone else's approval. Here's what that looks like when it actually runs. When you're carrying pain rejection, being overlooked, watching people with half your ability get twice the recognition, most people convert that into sadness. And sadness is heavy. It pins you down. It makes you still. But the same raw material can be converted into something entirely different. Obsession, output, forward movement. The move isn't about suppressing the pain. It's about redirecting it so precisely that it becomes indistinguishable from ambition. Every unanswered message, every dismissive look, every moment someone counted you out, That is your inventory. Use it. Most people stop here. Don't. Because once the internal engine is running, silence becomes the behavioral skill that compounds everything. And most people misunderstand what silence actually does. It isn't passive. It's strategic pressure. When you stop broadcasting your plans, stop performing your process, stop seeking validation on work that isn't finished, something shifts in how you're perceived. People stop trying to manage you, and the person nobody can manage cannot be slowed down. Machiavelli wrote something that most people read and immediately misinterpret. It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. Most people hear that as a license for cruelty. It isn't. It's a statement about the kind of presence that cannot be negotiated with. When you go quiet and produce, you stop being someone people feel comfortable redirecting. You become someone they have to reckon with. That is not a personality type. That is a decision. Silence builds pressure the way a sealed container builds pressure. And when that pressure finally releases, what comes out isn't just effort, it's the kind of performance that people describe as coming from nowhere. It never came from nowhere. It came from the room nobody else was allowed into. Now the social layer. And this is where the story flips completely. The people who succeed without a support system don't just win. They win in a way that permanently rewrites the terms of every relationship that follows. The ones who doubted you, ignored you, didn't respond, they always come back, every single time. And when they do, the dynamic is completely different. You didn't earn anything with their help. You earned everything despite their absence. That is a different category of standing. It cannot be negotiated with. It cannot be taken away. Nobody can co-sign it in reverse. Steve Martin, one of the most relentlessly self-built performers in American history, made it clean. Be so good they can't ignore you. Not so charming. Not so connected. Not so agreeable. So good. That is a quality-based offer to the world that requires no one's permission and answers to nobody's timeline. It is also the only kind of power that doesn't depend on someone else staying generous. So here is where this lands practically. If you are in a season with no support, nobody pushing you forward, nobody cheering, nobody calling to check in, that is not a gap in your strategy. It might be the most honest version of your situation you have ever been handed, because what you build in that gap, without anyone watching, is exactly who you are. Not who you perform when someone is looking, who you actually are. And the person who builds in that gap, alone, with nothing confirmed and nothing guaranteed, that person is building something nobody can ever take a percentage of. Not now, not later, not ever. Vertex Vision exists for exactly this kind of conversation, the one nobody wants to have in public, but everyone needs to hear. If this one hit close, hit subscribe. Like the video if something here called you out. We will see you in the next one.